Do not sacrifice your grades, your sanity, your MCAT score, your application preparedness for some arbitrary, I don't want to take a gap year. The Old Premeds Podcast, session number 299. Welcome to the Old Premeds Podcast. My name is Dr. Ryan Gray, your host here every week, where I take questions directly from the non-traditional pre-med discussion over at premedforums.com. If you haven't gone over there to ask your question, do so. It's free. It's easy. Before we jump in, I want to talk about the MCAT Minutes brought to you by Blueprint MCAT. It is near the end of February. The MCAT test dates are back open starting in March. For some reason, the AAMC does not do February test dates, but March, we're back and better than ever. And if you are taking your MCAT in a month or two, check out Blueprint MCAT's bundle that they do with Sketchy MCAT. You get access to 4, 6, 10 Blueprint MCAT full-length exams and the amazing Sketchy platform to help you memorize all of that content that you need to know. Go check it out. And remember, the earlier you take your MCAT, the more time it frees up to work on your primary application, your secondary applications, and if you need to adjust or pivot or delay a little bit, that's okay. When's the latest you should take the MCAT? My thoughts, about the end of June. The MCAT prep potentially gets in the way of your primary application, but that date doesn't necessarily delay your processing and finalization and review from the admissions committee side of things. So that's the MCAT Minutes brought to you by Blueprint MCAT. Check them out, blueprintmcat.com. Let's talk about our question today. Our student today is a veteran with a dream. We love veterans, me being one myself. They say, hey everyone, I have quite a long story, so I'll try to keep it short. I am currently an active duty Army medic and have found a passion for medicine while in the service. I had an extremely low GPA before joining the military, leaving school with a 1.13 GPA. During my time in the Army, I have taken multiple classes and now have a 3.0 cumulative GPA. Amazing. I will be transitioning from the military this spring and enrolling at a university in the fall of 2022. I will have 2 years of school left, so ideally I would like to take the MCAT in the spring of 2023 so I can start medical school right after my undergraduate degree. I've been looking at my course load and will be taking OChem 2, Physics 2, Calculus 2, and Biochemistry in the spring of 2023. Oh my gosh, that's a lot of classes and a lot of hard classes. I am hoping to take the MCAT towards the latter part of the semester in April or May, so I can learn as much as possible in those courses. My question is whether this would be wise and if it would be doable with that course load and studying for the MCAT at the same time. Should I stick to the plan or bite the bullet and delay my application by a year to ensure I am fully prepared for the MCAT? I love the thought process here. Here's my plan. I'm concerned. Let me go ask some questions. A lot of people don't have that reflection part, and they're like, okay, I have lots of classes. I got to study for the MCAT. I got to work on my application. I got to do all this stuff. That is a ton of hard courses, MCAT prep, and application prep. My thought process, especially trying to recover from an earlier poor GPA, is that your goal is to do as well as possible with your GPA. That is your primary concern, not when you take the MCAT and when you apply. Obviously, I know clock is ticking. I'm getting older. I want to start on this journey. I get all of that. But you can't start on this journey if you go into that spring of 2023 with OChem 2, Physics 2, Calculus 2, Biochemistry. First of all, Biochemistry should be taken after OChem 2. Right? After OChem 2. So that's a questionable decision there to begin with. But the goal, if you want to go to medical school, is to prove that you are academically capable. And by trying to cram everything in, spring of 2023, Biochem, OChem 2, Physics 2, Calculus 2, MCAT prep, application prep. That's a lot of stuff that I would highly, highly, highly recommend you delay your application, spread things out a little bit more, and don't rush. Your goal is to prove academic capability first and foremost. Don't overwhelm yourself just because you have arbitrarily set this deadline in your head of I have to apply in 2023 so that I can start medical school directly after I finish my undergraduate studies. Do not sacrifice your grades, your sanity, your MCAT score, your application preparedness for some arbitrary, I don't want to take a gap year. Okay? Nobody is forcing you to apply in 2023 to start in 2024. Slow things down a little bit. Make sure that you get good grades. Then study for the MCAT. Then work on your application prep. That is my suggestion. You don't have to follow it. I'm not the boss of you. You can do what you want, but that is my suggestion. Very common for non-traditional students who are coming in on this kind of circuitous path of like, okay, community college or CCAF, Community College of the Air Force, whatever, right? You're coming in from this different path, whether military, non-military, and you're like, oh crap, I'm getting older. I need to apply to medical school. What do I have left? Okay, cram it all together. I've seen too many students tank their GPA, tank that trend, struggle with the MCAT, submit an early crappy application or a late okay application just for this arbitrary, I need to apply now. Okay, slow down. Everything will be okay. Medical schools will still be there in a year. You'll still hopefully want to be a doctor in a year. Nothing is going away. Slow down. Make sure you do everything to the best of your ability. That is the goal of this process. It's not a race. Hopefully that was helpful. Again, don't forget to go check out blueprintmcat.com for all of your Blueprint MCAT full-length exams and amazing study planner tool and a free half-length diagnostic, a free full-length exam. Go check it out, blueprintmcat.com. We'll see you next time here on the Old Premeds podcast for session 300.